Hey, it's Chloe here, and in this video I'm going to do a rather late to the table mid-year review of my planner setup for 2025. I'm going to go through some of the things that have been working, some of the things that need maybe a bit of a tweak to see me through to the end of the year and get me back on track, and things that I will definitely be changing for 2026. So if that's of interest to you, keep on watching. Now, I've got two planners that I currently use, my work planner for my job and then my home planner for home life, kids, my life, everything else. So we're going to look at my personal home life planner to start with, and I've got my little black wing notebook here so I don't go too rambling off in funny directions. So first up, my planner setup is dead simple. All I have in here is my year at a glance insert, my quarterly insert, followed by my monthly inserts, which are divided down into a month on one page, an inbox for the month, and then behind that my weeklies will go where I'll do my time blocking. And I really love how that currently works for me in terms of a system. That's the main things that I need to use my planner for, keeping a track of what is going on, when and where. Now, in terms of what or how I use these things, I've got my year at a glance, which this one I feel like it is going to stay, although maybe I could use it better. So at the moment I did this kooky thing where I marked off the years as we passed through them with an upside down flag, which it kind of looks a little bit kooky where some of them aren't straight, so that is bugging me. I probably wouldn't do that again, but I didn't want to cover the dates because I am marking off my periods on here, and then I thought in the future maybe this would be a better place for marking school holidays and days off, although I'm not sure how I'm going to make that look aesthetically pleasing. It could end up quite messy because I have 3 kids, and then if I'm putting my days off work on top of that, that's what's made me hold back from doing that on here, because I want this to be a visual reference where I can see the entire year at a glance. So I don't know, this is could be improved. I like how it's working for me as a reference, but could I take it that step further and make it a bit more functional, but still keep it looking neat and right? My quarterly insert, this one I did use it for future login. However, because I have my entire month in here, I tend to just go straight to that month and log things on there rather than doing it in the quarterly. So what I've ended up doing with my quarterlies is using it as more of a reference of when things happened. So when did I deep clean the dishwasher, or get my car valeted, or repotted my plants? So I've started doing that over the May and June, and found that quite an effective way of having that record. But it's beginning to look a little bit messy again. So I've done some tweaks to this insert. By the way, the inserts that I'm using are from Keshinomi, which is my printable planner shop. So with the quarterly insert, I've decided that maybe first up, having a little space where I can actually put the date in might be a better way to go. I could even use date dot stickers if they're micro date dots, I don't know, but I felt that's maybe a neater way of having that insert laid out in terms of usability. But then I also thought, well, maybe I could do some kind of quarterly log where I've got the calendar month at the top and then a whole log of the dates underneath. Oh, we're going a little bit. There's not a lot I can do about the sunlight. It's sunny in Britain, but it's a cloudy day as well today. So the sun is kind of going in and out. I do apologise. But getting back to this insert, I was wondering whether this might be a better way, if I still want to do some sort of future logging in my quarterly, to keep it looking neat and organised. So I'm not sure. I'll be testing these out next year. I might even set up one for 2025 for this July, August, September, and the same for quarter 3 in the log style as well, just to give this a little bit of a road test. These are the 2026 ones are available already if you want to get that version, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's kind of working, but it could be improved, and that's where I've made the tweaks. Right, next, done the quarterly, and I've also been logging birthdays on here, but again, maybe it doesn't make sense because I'm also then transferring that information over into my monthlies. I just don't want to be having to transfer information from a quarterly to a monthly to a weekly. It seems a bit redundant in terms of steps when I could just skip the quarterly step and go straight to the monthly and still see it there. And then when I'm planning my weekly of, okay, I've got this birthday coming up, I need to make sure I've bought a gift by then, I need to make sure I've blocked out time to see that person and or give them a call, what have you. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking in terms of why I'm going to re-evaluate my quarterly. Now, the monthlies, I have really loved my monthlies. They are a hybrid monthly, shall we say, in that you've got the calendar grid at the top half, and then you've got the calendar log or list underneath. I really love this method because it allows me to do, say, can we look at July? I think we can look at July. So it gives me an opportunity to use mini icon stickers to cross things off on the calendar grid where I can see things visually very easily. But when I need to go into a little bit more detail about what's actually happening on those days, I can log that underneath in the calendar list. So I personally love this. When I've had a big calendar grid, so for the 2026 inserts, let's have a look. I have done the big calendar grid across one whole page, so, or sorry, 2 whole pages. So it still has the cover page, but then you have a big spread for the calendar grid inside, and then you have space for notes on the back. So I might play around with this for 2026. I'm not sure. I've just never really got on with keeping this looking neat. But for August, I am challenging myself to do more of an aesthetic setup for my monthlies. Now, this is a test sheet. It looks like a hot mess, I know, but that's because I wanted to see how different layering techniques of shape stickers and mild liners and how the colours go together, and how I might mark off time off work on the list versus on the grid. Like, what am I going to do to keep this looking aesthetic? And then if I come up with something that looks visually pleasing on here, then that might transfer quite nicely to this style insert, and then I could, on the notes section, list out any finer details perhaps, I don't know. And I could even, I've probably got enough lines there for all 31 days. I want to say there should be 31 days. I know that the 5mm line height system should allow, and I'm not going to count on camera. In fact, maybe I'll count, but I'll pause. I'll be back. BRB. Right, there are 35 lines there, so I still have an opportunity to do maybe a top 3 for the month at the very top, and then I've still got room underneath for the full calendar month to have a line per day just for any key information that I might want to list that I don't want to bulk up on the calendar grid itself. So that could be one little thing that I test out. But in terms of how this insert is working for me, I absolutely love it. I've printed out a fresh August one so that I can I feel really nervous about putting pen and sticker to paper because I'm worried that I might make a mess of it again. But then I suppose the beauty of printables is I can just print another one out. I should just not be so precious. Like, this is meant to be a living, breathing, working document that should support my life and help me get things done, not give me anxiety about making a mess and it not looking insta ready. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my monthlies. Happy with the format, might test the big grid, but definitely need to think of a way of getting the aesthetics right so it looks good. Another thing that I might use the grid insert for is, as you can see on here, and I need to update this because I've done some more workouts and things, but I have a little bit of a system here for logging when I've posted content, when I've done a high intensity workout, when I've done a low impact, say walk-in workout or what have you. So I've been logging that on here. I've also been logging no alcohol days on here, so that's been quite good. And I need to update this because there's other things that I've been tracking where I've been really good at not doing something. So this is why it's beginning to look really messy, and they all kind of look like this. If we look at June, again, it's I mean, it works, but it's maybe not aesthetically pleasing, but it works. So, and I can see and I can have that satisfaction of crossing things off, but I definitely do need maybe a slightly better system for that. So we'll see. In terms of keeping a track of what I need to do, when I need to do it, and where I'm doing it, this works fine. But in terms of a visual log of what I've done, could be improved. Next up is the inbox insert. Now this, I started the year off so strong. I do love setting up a monthly inbox, or at least I did. I was very proactive in setting up my monthly inbox, listing out all of the things that needed to be done, to be addressed, to be chased, to be followed up, to be filled out, to be posted, to be bought. All of the things would go on this, and then I could cross them off as things were completed, and anything that didn't get completed would be carried over to the following month's inbox if it was still deemed important and worthy enough that actually, yes, I do need to do this thing or buy this thing or what have you. So that started off strong, but then I would say sort of mid Q3 probably. So yeah, maybe around May, June, May time. Let me see. I'm going to say around May time, I definitely started falling off the inbox wagon in my personal planner as well as in my work planner. I haven't been keeping those inboxes up. So that's definitely something that I need to get back on the horse with and use, because it's such a great way for my sanity. To keep a track of what's happened, when it's happening, who's dealing with what, who I'm still waiting for responses from, especially when it comes to school stuff. So yeah, I need to get back on track with that. And then finally, my weeklies. Let's see, can I show you? I mean, this one isn't particularly hectic looking at the moment. I mean, we are nearly, I'm recording this today on the 26th, and yeah, I haven't filled it out maybe as much as I could, but then that is kind of how they tend to look anyway. I block out my working hours excuse me, I block out my working hours. Any days off I might highlight as well, or just not block out the hours so I know that I've got that day. And then I just fill in everything else that is going on in my life. Now, this doesn't look very busy at the moment, and I'm okay in that. Sometimes I backlog put what I did in just to make it look a little bit fuller. So if let's see, is there one? So for example, on this Monday one, I've put in when I actually did the supper, crossed out going to the gym because I ended up just doing a swim and washing my hair, and logging when I've gone to bed as well. So, I mean, I quite like this system. The only thing that I'm going to change for 2026 is I do miss having a full column for Saturday and Sunday. So I have reinstated that in the weekly insert. Let's see. Can I go any quicker? No, I can't. There we go. So if we look at this spread, I have reintroduced it, but the only thing is the columns are really narrow. The reason that I moved to having Saturday and Sunday stacked was because I was really having to try and squish things in. You can see my writing is quite large, so I need to I mean, I reckon I could dial it in and shrink the width of my writing, or the size of my writing, down to fit within the width of the columns. So yeah, but because I work on a Saturday, I do need the timed hourly slots. So we'll see. As much as I love this, and as much as my page flag or task flags system was working in that they fit beautifully within a column, then that is not going to work in this system. I'm going to have to chop them down a bit, reprint them and chop them down and redesign them. Yeah, we'll see. So another thing that's been working for me is I tend to pre-plan my week using these page flag task flags. Page flags, task flags, I don't know what to call them, task flags, let's just call them task flags. And this just allows me to plan out my week the night before, say on a Sunday, or maybe sometimes even on a Friday. I will start planning out the week, the following week, and I can just start positioning things around my pre-existing commitments. So blocking out my working time, putting in anything that is, say, well, I've got to take my son to get his eye test at his myopia check at this time. So how do I plan everything else that I want to do around that? And then I just tend to stick these flags down to begin to map out how my week could work. So that system has really worked for me. Although, as you can see, this week I've been a little bit lackadaisical with the planning out things, shall we say, mainly because I had a day off on Monday and a day off on Saturday, and the kids are now off, and it just kind of feels like, what day are we? Like, is it Friday? Is it Saturday? Is it Jupiter? Is it a banana? Is it Ferrari? Like, that's the level of confusion that we're beginning to slip into week one of school summer vacay time. So all of the parents out there, if you know, and you know. So yeah, as I said, all of the inserts that I use are from Keshinomi. That's my printable planner inserts business. On the Etsy store, I'll leave a link to that. Some of the 2025 items that you can see in here are discounted because we're already over halfway through the year. There's also a sampler pack that I've created, so you can give a little bit of a test run for the different inserts, and they're all undated. But I will say I do use a Monday start and 24-hour timings on my hourly schedules. Some people can't get along with that, other people love it. So will I do a Sunday start and a 12-hour clock format? Maybe, if I get requests for it, I will. But I honestly create these for myself, what I want to use, what I need in my planner, and my thoughts are, well, I may as well share it with others in case they find it interesting or useful too. So yes, check out the description for the links to my shop for the inserts, and I shall catch you in the next one, which hopefully should be my final setup for my monthly insert, which I am thinking of moving into, although I cannot see it now. Oh, I don't know where it's gone. I was going to move into my Filofax Norfolk. Is it in here? Oh, I've stored it in here because I don't have a box for it, because I bought it pre-loved off eBay. Wah, wah. So yeah, I am thinking of going into this for my August setup, but it's just the card slots being at the back that I'm just not sure about on this, and also the ginormous rings, which I don't really need anymore. I'm toying with the idea of maybe getting a cloth and paper planner cover, although I don't know what colour to go for. And then there's, I really do like the Moterm covers. I've just been impressed with every single item that I've purchased. So this one was pre-loved from a buy sell trade group. I've got the Moterm Luxe 2.0, which I bought from AliExpress, and for my gratitude / faith journal, I've got the Traveller's, I think it's called the Companion, in the veg tan, which I absolutely love. So I'm toying with, do I go for a veg tan Moterm Luxe, maybe in the colour June? I'm not sure, although I do really love the apricot and then how it darkens and tans over time. I went with the apricot one, so that's how I know that it does go very, very dark over time. Or do I wait until they release the Elite planner in A5? I really love the styling of the Elite planner, and I'm thinking that I should probably wait for it to launch in the A5 veg tan leathers. If anyone's got the Elite, I think it's anything but A5 is available at the moment. I think the Personal, I think there's A6, I think there's Pocket. So if anyone's got the Moterm Elite veg tan, doesn't matter what size, just comment below. What's your experience? Have you been impressed? When you've requested it to be smooth, has it been smooth? If you've requested it to be a little bit pebbly, has it been a little bit pebbly? Like, how has that experience gone? The rings, how have the rings gone? Because my Camden, oh, I didn't even cover this. I'm not going to cover this, otherwise the video will be super, super long. But yes, I had a little bit of ring gaping on the rings in this Filofax A5 Camden. I did use the technique of trying to realign them again, and it's definitely improved, but I feel like, yeah, not impressed with that. So yeah, I'm going to go, because I'm going to just keep planner chattering, that can be a phrase. Enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are, and I shall catch you in the next one, which might be a review of what I've changed in here, which isn't a lot, but maybe. But there will definitely be this sorted and looking gorgeous and Insta ready. Until then, bye for now, planner friend. Bye, bye, bye.